that we are in fact tracking, that's coming in from Venezuela. In his Truth Social post, US President Donald Trump has recognized himself as the acting president of Venezuela. So, Brian, we are seeing this latest bit of data that is coming in, where US President Donald Trump has updated his data, and he stated in his Truth Social post that he is the acting president of Venezuela.
Well, clearly itself, after capturing, Maduro and his wife itself, now Trump had made it very clear that he is rather now the acting president of Venezuela itself. And again, he has been speaking about the negotiations also that has been happening at this point of time. And very importantly, right now, even though the current acting president of Venezuela is Deli Rodriguez, who even was sworn in following the capture of Nicolás Maduro, very importantly, after Trump's capture of the president and the wife itself, Trump made it very clear that Trump has stated that the U.S. would run Venezuela after this U.S. military operation ousted Maduro and asserted influence over the country's future leadership and oil resources itself.
Brian, stay on with us. On meeting with the acting president of Venezuela, Deli Rodriguez, US President Donald Trump has said, and I quote, "She asked us if we could take 50 million barrels of oil, and I said, yes, we can. It is worth $4.2 billion, and it is on its right way now to the United States." Let's in fact listen into that statement.
At some point I'll meet. Yeah, she's been very good. Look, she asked us, "Can we take 50 million barrels of oil?" And I said, yes, we can. It's $4.2 billion. And it's on its way right now to the United States.
So, Brian, on one hand, we are seeing US President declaring himself as the acting president of Venezuela, and on the other hand, he has had a conversation with the actual acting president of Venezuela, Deli Rodriguez, and he is stating that they are willing to offer all their oil to the United States.
Well, yes, clearly, U.S. President again had a word with Deli Rodriguez, Venezuela's actual acting president, about an agreement for a turnover of 15 million barrels of oil to the U.S. Again, which is also marketed at $4 billion at the current market price. And again, it has also been stated that Trump asked Rodriguez if the U.S. could take 15 million barrels of oil, of which he replied, yes, they can, but it is worth $4.2 billion and it is on its way right now to the U.S. Again, this is a broader arrangement under the interim Venezuelan authorities that are transferring between 30 to 50 million barrels of sanctioned crude to the U.S., which will be sold at market price with proceeds overseen by the U.S. government, as even stated by Trump.
Brian, when we are seeing this entire controversy being unfolded, Deli seems to be someone that the US administration is keen to work with, because she is also showing signs of looking at the US regime and accepting what their demands are.
Well, very importantly, Deli Rodriguez from the very start has stated that she's keen to have negotiations with the U.S. administration, President Trump, to make things smoother. And even now, Trump has been also vocaling of a conversation with Deli Rodriguez, Venezuela's acting president, about the sanctions, about the suggestions of the oil or procurement itself that has been happening. So clearly, a keen conversation, a keen negotiation has been happening between both Trump and Deli Rodriguez. Yes.
Brian, I'll request you to stay on with us, as we'll require your inputs for this other story that we're tracking from New Zealand this time.